Howdy, folks. Woodget Walls from needcoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer review. I have too many keys. The Wayhomer reviews work like this for the uninitiated. I have just left the cinema, which is back over that way. I have seen a film, which is what you normally do in a cinema, and I'm going to tell you about that film on my way home. And today, we're here to talk about Mad Max Fury Road. Okay, so Mad Max Fury Road. What can we say synopsis-wise? Well, for those who are joining this tale already in progress, there is a man named Max who is pretty damn mad in every sense of the word. And if you've seen, I don't want to spoil anything for the franchise as a whole, but he has this tendency to wander into bits of trouble. Very big trouble. Very big, crazy trouble, usually with lots of spikes on it and wheels. That's just how it goes. Apparently, the post-apocalypse in Australia involves Death Race 2000 on acid. It's been like that since, the second film. But basically, he, without giving too much away from spoilers, because you couldn't tell what the hell was going on for the most part from the trailer, he gets captured by this group of overzealous nutbags and to be used in a particular way, which is slightly disturbing. And in doing so, sort of, again, because he just wanders into these things, finds himself in the center of what is essentially an escape attempt. Again, with wheels and lots of spikes. And then things just get crazier from there. I mean, that's a synopsis. There's really not much, you can tell story-wise without spoiling things. And really, the story, and part of, well, let's just get right into it. Part of what I liked about the film was that if you didn't get basically as crazy as you thought the film was going to be from the trailer, it's more so, which I greatly appreciate, because the trailer with people on the bending poles and the spikes and the flame guitar guy and all this craziness, just absolute insanity. I was fine with all of that, and I thought, if I just have that on a big screen, I'll be happy. Because the trailer said to me, we've basically gone to George Miller, the director, and the guy who brought you Mad Max to begin with, and we've said, George, it's 2015 now. We have all the CG stuff and things that you could only dream about back when you were doing the original franchise. We want you to make a list of every crazy, insane, mental thing that you thought of doing. Any of them. We don't care what it is. And just make a shopping list, and we're going to make your mental dreams come true. That's what the trailer said to me. And that's pretty much what the film delivered. Because, yes, it sort of starts out like a typical Mad Max film, but then it keeps upping the ante and the scale repeatedly. And just when you think they're done, they just go, no, we're not done yet, and they take it up further, which I appreciate. And yes, you could say, well, it is, because for the most part, it is, and I don't think this is a spoiler at all. It's one big, long, crazy Mad Maxian chase scene in which, again, if you haven't seen the franchise, usually involves one vehicle being beset upon by lots of other smaller vehicles, again, wheels and spikes, and chaos thus ensues. Well, that's the main thrust of it, but what I appreciated was, it's not like there was no story going on. But the story was sort of told in little snippets, little shorthand bits that didn't come out and say, this is very emotionally important, or come out and say, this is very meaningful. Like they do in some films, capital M, meaningful, capital E, emotional, that type of thing. It's done in small little bits that leave you to read into it as much as you want to. And if you don't want to read anything at all into it, it doesn't detract from flames and chaos and explosions. So really, it's the best of both worlds. But I like to take it as a whole, because there's a lot of really great acting going on, even though, honestly, there's not a lot of dialogue, because there's a lot of explosions going on. So, for the film as a whole, there's a lot of things, apart from some very obvious 3D bits, that were just there to basically go, yeah, we're doing this. Gleefully, and if you're on board, which I think you will be, you too will be gleeful about it. I honestly couldn't tell for a lot of it what was practical and what wasn't. I know that they're all insane. I do know that. So, as far as the spectacle of it, it totally delivers, and is a very enjoyable addition to the franchise. And it does have little nods back to each of the films that have come before that sort of tie it in. And it does a very, very interesting thing with how it sort of introduces Max as a character and doesn't explain everything. There are things going on that you go, okay, you could go into this film and not have seen any of the other films and you would be fine. But I think there's some lovely subtext going on if you know the whole story. So that's very cool. Tom Hardy makes for an excellent Mad Max. He has a lot less lines than Mel Gibson did, which is fine, because he delivers them quite well. Charlize Theron is a badass with a cybernetic arm. Do I really need to say anything else about that? No. And there's a whole cavalcade of additional insane people where you think, where did you find these people? Apparently Australia, I guess. I don't know. That's where they found him in all the other films. So, from a... Oh, they found out I robbed that cheese shop. Nope, they didn't. Good. The cheese is safe. So, basically, there's a lot of interesting messages and an interesting story going on and interesting acting, like I said, but all of that is riding on the back of crazy, insane, giant explosions. And I'm not really sure what else to say, because all of that is quality, and there's only so many things you can say about a completely Mad Maxian, rig with smaller cars and spikes. I will say this, though. I was very disappointed in what is most undoubtedly, if you've seen the trailer, again on the big screen, the film that probably more than Avengers cries out for an IMAX treatment, and because of Avengers, and we don't have enough IMAX screens, the closest IMAX screen showing Fury Road was in New York City. New York City! So that was crazy, and I was very disappointed. I'm happy for Marvel, but come on, guys. Can't we all just get along and show big movies? So, I enjoyed that. So, from the standpoint of going to go see it, when should you see it? You should see it. You should definitely see it on the big screen. I think that I thought the 3D was quality, because I could tell a lot of things. There were some really great type of moments that weren't just completely in your face moments, but there were some, again, cheesy 3D, wink wink nudge nudge 3D moments, which I thought were fine. So I enjoyed that. So yes, I think you should see it, and it would probably be fine without the 3D, but I think in this case, this is one of the few times where I can say that I thought the 3D was definitely worth it. And I would say just see it. Obviously, a matinee is always best, but do see it whenever you can. Cup-wise, I'm going to go for, I think 4.5, honestly, because it's a solid 4 just on its own. But for the sheer balls to the wall insanity of it, I just have to give it an extra half a cup, just for that, just out of respect, out of a salute to George Miller and his insanity, because apparently with time George Miller has only gotten more crazy, and we need to respect that. I think we need to respect the insanity of the people who can pull it off like he can. So well done, George. I know he watches these. So I think that's it for this Wayhomer. Again, there's only so much you can say about cars with spikes, although it's fun to say. So yes, definitely check it out. I enjoyed it. Might go see it again, especially for the Cirque du Soleil bits and cars. So that's it for another Wayhomer review. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoy these things, as always, you can come find more insanity on needcoffee.com. We appreciate all of your comments and whatever else you want to throw at us. But don't throw it very hard. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Wayhomer Reviews.